Jason Patterson and the Crusader Clubhouse Report with head coach Travis Henson. This is our first Coach Travis Henson show of the year. And Coach, you're looking back at 2010, looking ahead to 2011. You're a year removed from that championship squad from last year. Put it in perspective what it meant to do the things you were able to do in 2010.
I tell you, it was a very special season for us. It's something that you worked toward all year, and of course we set that goal at the beginning of the year, the 427 miles from our stadium to Prasco Park in Cincinnati. But it wasn't just a goal that we set and talked about. It was something that we worked toward on a daily basis and then went out and accomplished it. And that's a very special feeling. Anytime, and anyone in any aspect of life, when you set a goal and you commit yourself toward working to accomplish that goal, when you finally realize it, it's a very phenomenal feeling, and that's a very special feeling. A lot of people had asked me in high school state championships that we won, and we were able to be a part of it and play for 4 state championships, won 3 state titles, and then to win that one last year, they said, which one's the sweetest? So with that one last year, because it's the most recent. I live in the present, and that was something that our guys worked toward. Plus, from where we were to where we ended was phenomenal. To have a 10-win season when we first came here, and then a year later to win 46 baseball games, highest win total increase from one season to another in college baseball history, any level, Division I, Division II, Division III, any affiliation. No one had ever gone plus 36 wins from one season to another. So North Greenville baseball made collegiate baseball history, which is pretty phenomenal. But most of all, it's just sweet because we realized their potential, and that's something that we're trying to do again this year.
But when you're in the middle of it, the excitement, I'm sure, takes over, and it's hard to really grab the main things away from it. What is the main thing you take away from the kind of year you had?
I tell you, again, just the fact that our guys committed themselves, and one saying that we have all the time is focus on the process. It's what you have to do to accomplish the goals that you set, and then enjoying the journey as much as the destination. And that's something that we talk about a lot too, is you set that destination of where you want to be, but enjoy the daily pursuit of that goal. And our guys can tell you, the championship moment, the final out, that was a lot of fun, but the process that we worked in gaining that was just as much fun, if not more.
Having success in the one-loss column is certainly attracting fans to this baseball program. It may be difficult with us not being in a conference for fans to understand exactly what we're playing for at all times. And with us having kind of a dual citizenship between NCAA Division II and what they often hear us talk about, the NCCAA, talk a little bit to fans about what are the goals of this team and what are we really playing for with that kind of dual approach.
That's a great point. Being a Division II member of the NCAA, but being an independent just means that I compare it very similar to the March Madness a lot of people are familiar with in the basketball tournament. We are an at-large bid. We can't get an automatic bid as a qualifier for winning the regular season, conference championship, or a tournament at the end of the season. And so without those two advantages, we rely on, first of all, at-large slots to be open, and secondly, for us to be selected for that, which is very, very tough with conference members being on the selection committee. It's tough to do it as an independent. Now, we finished 38-12 regular season last year. Still didn't get the bid, but can't complain about it. They're a very deserving team that was selected ahead of us. And so our goal is knowing that, and honestly to tell you this, simply it's to get better every day and to win the next game. And we're big Nets game people. We talk about the Nets game, the game that we play against Lander at Lander on Friday night. It's the biggest game of my career. And I know that, not because of any other reason other than the fact that it's the Nets game and we live in the present. But our goal, we put 5 on the sleeve of our shirts this year. The 5th month of the year is May, and if you're playing baseball in May as a Division II school, you're in the playoffs, whether it be Christian College playoffs or Division II playoffs. And our big thing is, let's play as hard as we can, let's work to be the best that we can be, and let the chips fall where they may. This team's talented enough to where if we do that, we're going to be in a good situation. But we just have to work day in, day out.
To reach those goals, you put together a fine young group of players. 7 of your returning starters from the national championship team are back. The core of your pitching staff is back. The transfer that's come in, Andrew Lawrence, can be very important. And then certainly the 2 new freshmen that have already begun to produce in Hollifield and Reinholtz. A good group, a good nucleus for this team. You got to be pleased with what you have to work with.
Oh, no question about it. Very excited about the guys that are returning. Not just experience, but what they experienced. It was success. And so these guys know what it takes to win. They know how to prepare to win. And, very, very confident in the abilities of our guys. I know that. And not only that returning cast, but you mentioned Ryan Holtz and Hollyfield, two freshmen have been throwing the fire here early. Ryan Holtz is a redshirt freshman from Riverside High School, and Taylor Hollyfield, a true freshman from Boiling Springs. Both have stepped up and had big games for us already here, young season, but these young players are doing a phenomenal job.
This is a team that's very easy to follow. If you haven't been out to see them play yet, come on out and do so. You're putting the same lineup out there on the field most every game. Let's walk down through that lineup, and I'd like for you to share with our viewers a little bit about each player. We'll start off with one of your major returners, and that's the leadoff hitter and second baseman, number 4, Bubba Giles.
I tell you, Bubba's just a true senior leader, just a phenomenal player, a very versatile player, not only as an infielder and being able to do what he does offensively, but he also serves as a closer. And Bubba's a true leader for us. He's a guy that he's like a player coach, so to speak. He's a coach in uniform on the field, does a great job for us. Now, he's had to step up in that leadoff spot due to the injury to Marcus Duckworth. Duckworth would have been our leadoff man, started over 40 bases last season, one of the top performers in Division II baseball. But he's out for the year, has surgery scheduled for tomorrow at 1:30, torn ligaments in his thumb. And so Bubba stepped up from leadoff role, done a great job for us. He's going to be phenomenal.
Your catcher's Anthony Volk.
I tell you, Anthony, outstanding defensive catcher. We gave him a break in today's game. It's the first break he'd had in 2 years because he caught every ball game almost last season, and so he does a great job. He's a very versatile performer offensively. He's got great speed. He's able to handle the bat well. He's a great situational hitter, but he also can hit for power and average. So he's definitely a phenomenal player.
You got Taylor and right.
Adam Taylor, returning from an outstanding freshman season, and Adam gives us a great left-handed bat. Very strong arm in the outfield, and we're waiting for him to get going just like he did last season, and he's a great player as well.
Derek Fulmer had a big long ball yesterday, he's been hitting the ball effectively, leading the team in average so far this year. What do folks need to know about Derek?
Derek is one of the best baseball players in Division II. He is not only as a left-handed pitcher, but he's had to step into the outfield. Last year he served as a DH, and now he's having to play left field with the injury to Duckworth. Offensively, you're not going to find somebody that hits the ball harder. Derek is a great big-time power guy. He's very good. His selection and approach to the plate as well. He's a guy that has potential to get drafted at the end of this year, and we know that. And very proud of Derek. He's going to be a key player for us.
The anchor of your infield is David Frazier, the shortstop.
Tell you, David is a junior that started his first 2 seasons for us. His 3rd season starting. Great defensive shortstop. And, he's gotten off to a slow start offensively. He'll be the first to tell you that. But Frazier's a guy that works very hard, and he's been a consistent performer for us. And that's the big thing about David is anytime we need something big, he's been able to do it for us. But he's just a steady defender and offensive player.
You've already had a big grand slam this year from first baseman Tyler Calicut, and he's also flashed the leather over there. How big is he to this team?
I tell you, Cali is one of those guys, just kind of an unsung hero. Defensively at first base, the things that he does, he saves a lot of plays for us. Not only fielding the ground balls, but the throws over, he saves a lot of outs. So we're big believers in putting somebody very athletic over at first base because they can make a lot of plays saving throws across the diamond. And Cali does that, and offensively, nobody works harder than Tyler Calicut. And Cali's experience to kind of reap the benefits of that work ethic. The grand slam that you mentioned, he also had a 5 RBI day that day, and he's a guy that when he comes up, he's going to have opportunity to drive in runs because of the runners hitters in front of him, and we need him to have a big